Welcome to Let's Talk with Tara, the space where real life meets real answers. I am Dr. Tara T. Stallings, counselor and coach, here to help you navigate life's toughest challenges. Together, we'll explore psychological insights, emotional healing, relational growth, and biblical truths to empower your journey. So grab a seat, lean in, and let's have the conversations that matter the most. Hi, guys. Welcome. What if there's a way of thinking about life and its struggles that's shaping your reality more than you realize? Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, life keeps throwing you obstacles, keeps throwing obstacles your way? Tongue-tied today. What if there was a different way and response to your challenges that could bring you peace and clarity? Let's talk about it today. Kingdom thinking, operating beyond the physical. So this is still part of the series, Kingdom versus Kingdoms. And today I want to dive a little bit deeper into this conversation to give you some practical examples of how dimensional we are and how it affects your everyday life. So understanding kingdom thinking. Now, of course, I'm going to give you a quick synopsis of what I've been talking about. There's two kingdoms. There's a kingdom of light. There's a kingdom of darkness. There's positive things. There's negative things. So with that, understanding the spiritual realm. I've said this before. You are a spirit. You have a soul. You live in a body. To be operational, all three of them have to be working cohesively to live in the earth. You are a spirit. You're not your body. You are a spirit. You have a soul, mind, will, and emotions, and you live in a body. And all of them work together. So some of the experiences and the negative outcomes and positive outcomes that you have are impacted by understanding this kingdom thinking. You do it every day, but you don't realize you either thinking negatively or you thinking positively. You're operating out of either the kingdom of light or the kingdom of darkness. There's a popular song that's out now. And I like the beat to the song, but it talks about my anxiety. Anxiety is real. Let me say that. Anxiety is real. But with anxiety, it comes from a negative perspective, the kingdom of darkness. And when you claim something, let me kind of deal with this synopsis of what I've been talking about. Words create contracts. We talked about this before. Your words are spirit, they are life, they produce. So your words produce, they create contracts in the spiritual realm because you cannot see words, you can hear them. Spirits you cannot see. You can, not most of the time. I don't want to get too deep into that, but so they create these contracts. So when you start speaking, and thoughts create contracts too, when you start speaking and navigating and meditating on negative things, you create a reality that you do not want. So to reverse it, you have to think from the light side, positive, so that you can create the reality that you want. So understanding kingdom thinking is important and is applicable in your daily life. That's what we're talking about today. It is applicable in your daily life. So when we talk about kingdom thinking, it shifts your perspective from temporal to eternal. So what am I talking about? Okay, you guys know I teach some biblical principles. So it's going to take your thinking from how you feel in the moment, the experiences that you're having, to eternal things. What do you want? What do you want to build? Now we know living in the earth is not eternal, but I want to make this applicable so that you can understand. If you meditate being on depressed for the majority of your life, you're going to be depressed. You are going to attract spiritually not just depression, but the spirit of depression. So you have to be very careful when you're trying to navigate through understanding the dual realms that we live in. Now, there has been a lot of controversy when it comes to psychology, psychiatrics, mental health, and spiritual teaching. Sometimes it's been kind of weighed from one extreme to the other. So that's why I'm trying to, I want to share this so that you can get a good balance. So understand kingdom thinking, it shifts your perspective from things that are temporary to eternal. Understanding wherever you are today doesn't mean you're going to be there tomorrow in the natural. Matthew 6:23, that's one of my favorite scriptures. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Well, what are these things? Things from the kingdom of light. When you talk about understanding kingdom thinking, it empowers you to overcome challenges. Well, what do I mean when it says to empower you to overcome challenges? Well, guess what? If you're having a rough time in life and your constant thinking is, I'm never going to get through this, I'm never going to get through this, things are never going to change, 9 times out of 10 things are never going to change. It's all in how you think. If you think positively, you have a positive outcome. So I'm going to share again for you guys that have not heard my story. In 2002, I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. I was 32 years old. I was married at the time and I had 2 small children. Prior to that, I exercised a lot. I would get up in the morning, I would pray, and I would declare and thank God. I didn't use the word declare. I would just say, Lord, I thank you for my healing. I thank you for my healing. And well, there was nothing wrong with me. Words, thoughts, creating. So I did that for about 8 months. And then when the doctor diagnosed me, of course, when you get diagnosed with cancer, the first thing you're going to do is going to shake you to the core. You know, I'm 32, breast cancer, diagnosed with breast cancer. But then I had to remember what I had been speaking, shifting the atmosphere, shifting things, because your words produce their light. It changed how I perceive my diagnosis. It changed how I perceived my diagnosis. One, I had been thanking God for my healing. Positive thoughts changed how I perceived it. It changed my outcome. I did have a lumpectomy. I had a lumpectomy, but guess what? I had 1 chemo treatment and 80% of my cancer was gone. Amazed my doctors because I kept speaking to my body, not understanding this principle. I didn't understand this principle like I understand it now, but I spoke to my body and I created what I wanted. It transformed my mindset and it transformed my mental health from thinking negatively, because of course, the first thing I thought was, I'm 32 years old. I got 2 kids. Am I going to die? I don't want to die. Now, my mindset didn't shrink all the way down. It didn't create a conundrum of negative thoughts, but I did have a negative thought. So it transformed my mindset from negative thinking, anxiety, depression, and it aligned it with what I wanted. Remember, I didn't know that these principles were there then. I didn't know that we had these principles. It shapes my relationships. Understanding kingdom principles shapes how you relate to people and your social reactions, and it brings purpose and direction. Understanding kingdom thinking helps you walk in your purpose rather than feeling like you're just walking through life aimlessly. And most of you guys are walking through life, feel like you're walking through life aimlessly because you don't know, you have not been taught, and some of you have been taught incorrectly why it's important understanding how positive kingdom thinking, because it's two kingdoms, the light and the dark, will transform your life. So, what are some practical steps to cultivate a kingdom mindset? Well, the first thing you need to do is renew your mind. And if you don't believe in God, but you need to renew your mind in positive thinking, a positive outcome. Because everybody that follows me don't believe in God, and it's okay, but the principles are the same. You need to renew your mind so that you can from replace negative thinking to more positive thinking. What do you want? What's your outcome? Then you have to develop a lifestyle that's going to align with your thoughts and your actions, because it's not enough to just have positive thinking and thoughts. You have to align your life and your lifestyle to reflect your thoughts. And once you align that, your decisions will change, your values will change, because you're going to have your decisions are going to be based on your values. Making decisions, asking how they line up with what those positive thoughts and that positive goal that you are trying to achieve. You have to cultivate a mindset, spirit, soul of gratitude and faith. Instead of focus, and what does that look like? Don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you do have. Don't focus on what happened. Focus on how you came through it. So focusing on the positive, on the positive. Walking in love. Listen, this is a big one. Walking in love, forgiveness, and grace. You cannot be positive and have a positive mindset and want a positive outcome if you don't have love, if you're not operating in forgiveness and you giving people grace. You have to let go of bitterness and unforgiveness. It is impossible. I don't care if you believe in the tree. If your faith is in the tree and the tree stump, these are principles that if you implement them, your life will change. Surround yourself with positive people. We heard this saying, birds of a feather flock together. Well, you cannot have a positive mindset and want positive outcomes, have a life that you don't, a life of peace and joy, alleviate depression and anxiety and lack, if you hang around people, if you associate with people that are trapped in that conundrum. So you have to surround yourself with positive people. Seek mentorship from those people, from mature people that can help you navigate that positive mindset and life and lifestyle that you're seeking. And you have to speak and think in authority. And I know I'm kind of going through these a little fast, but you have to go back and listen to it. I'm building up on to something. You want to speak and think in with authority. You have to remember I said when I was diagnosed, I didn't decree and declare, but I spoke with authority. Lord, I thank you that I'm healed. And then when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I kept saying, oh, I know I'm healed. I spoke with authority. I didn't say, well, I believe, I'm healed. No, I said, I know I'm healed. I know I'm going to live. I'm going to raise my kids. I spoke with authority because I had spoken, and thank God for my healing so much. My mindset shifted to a more kingdom mindset. So I spoke with the authority that I had no doubt that I was going to be okay. None at all. I had no doubt. So I was assured in myself that because I shifted my mindset, that things were going to work out great for me. That things were going to work out great for me. So it's important to understand that having a kingdom mindset, I say again, we have two kingdoms, the kingdom of darkness, the kingdom of light. You're going to operate out of one of them. There is no middle section. It's either light or darkness. If you're not operating in light, you're going to be operating in darkness, thinking you in light. And so many people operate in darkness thinking that they're in light. It's your mindset. You have faith and fear. They don't mix. It's like oil and water. They don't mix. Either you're going to have fear or you're going to have faith. One of the two. So you have to learn how to operate out of the positive, which is faith, positive outcome. Or if not, by default, you're going to operate out of darkness, which is the negative outcome. So you have to be careful who you associate with. You have to be careful what you listen to, because that impacts how you see, how you feel, what is going on in your life, and what you are going to produce in your life. What you are going to produce in your life. Now, that production may not be today, but it will be in the next, years or days to come. You'll look 5-10 years down the line and say, well, how did I get here? I remember I shared this story before, and I'm going to share this before I wrap up. Young lady, she was 18 years old, and out of ignorance, she would say, by the time I'm 40, I'm going to be dead. I'm going to be dead. Because at 18, you think 40 is old, and it's not. Well, at 38, her body starts shutting down. She didn't know why her body was shutting down. Kept going to the doctor. They didn't know why. Spirit of God reminded her, well, you kept speaking this spirit. Your words are spirit. They produce life. They produce life or death. So you kept saying this for the last so many years that you were going to die by the time you turn 40. At 38, her body started naturally shutting down because she started producing. It was producing those words that she spoke out of the kingdom of darkness, out of negativity. They were producing. So when she realized it, what she did was to reverse it. She started speaking life to her body. She's here today. She's in her 70s, almost 70s. Yeah, anyway, she was 40 then. So kingdom thinking isn't just about theology. It's about applying God's principle, positive thinking, in your everyday life, your finances, your relationships, emotions, career, and any challenges that you have. When you cultivate a kingdom mindset, we see through God's perspective, positive, going to have a positive outcome. Your values are going to line up. You live with purpose, and you walk in victory. Everything you do succeeds. Everything that you do succeeds. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I know I usually go live. It's a tape one, but I thought I would go live today just to kind of navigate you through what I wanted to share with understanding these kingdom principles. But next week and the week after, we're going to dive into this a lot deeper so you can get a better understanding of this dual ram. We talk about this dual ram for the month of March. So you need to understand you are a spirit, you have a soul, and you live in the body. So your anxiety, your addictions, your depression, whatever it is that you've been dealing with, traumas, all of those things affect you from a spiritual perspective and a natural. Go back and listen to my series from January, how we talked about how the natural affects the spiritual and how the spiritual affects the natural. Until next time, you guys, I will see you. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk with Tom. If you found today's conversation helpful, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Let's keep this dialogue going. Follow me on Let's Talk Tom for more insights and encouragement. Remember, every step forward starts with an honest conversation. Until next time, stay grounded, stay growing, and keep talking.